Thank you. I wanted to ask from each of you whether you think there are certain types of voices that are missing from this debate. And I was just kind of curious because when I look at the arguments for and against and the popularity of UBI as an idea, it seems kind of surprising that 1 out of 4 speakers are really arguing for strongly. So I was just wondering if you think there are other perspectives that we're kind of not hearing here, or that kind of flesh out the concept kind of beyond the basic economics.
I guess one argument that none of us have touched on, perhaps because none of us strongly believe it, is the Andrew Yang technology will steal our jobs line. So to have a full discussion, maybe we need Andrew Yang here as well. Others?
Yeah, I mean, I think the other voice, so a few weeks ago, I participated in an artist-led economy debate on UBI, and it was, you know, a really good opportunity to hear how that industry, that sector, had, one, been affected by the pandemic, but two, wanted, I guess, some way in which what they do, make a contribution, should be recognised, right? So I think, yes, we had some artists and people in the entertainment industry talking about this, given, you know, how precarious their employment is in particular, but also what value they add to society that doesn't tend to get the same sorts of remuneration that we've just been talking about in relation to lots of other people and the rewards they get from high-paid jobs.
So just as with COVID-19 policy, the people who make the policy are very different from the people who are impacted by the policy most heavily. And so I think, yes, the people who don't have positions on stages like this to, you know, pronounce about things are the ones who would have a sea change in their personal circumstances were UBI to be implemented potentially. And, you know, to be honest, I've not seen like a focus group study or some other qualitative study of, you know, what do people at the bottom of the income distribution think about UBI, but I would wager that they would be more positively inclined than people at the top of the income distribution in general, for reasons of simple economic incentives. So it's not that hard to imagine why that would be the case. I also think in the current environment where people are very insecure about their economic security, they're looking for purity. They're looking for something they can believe in. They're looking for magic bullets. They're looking for pure causes. And the universal basic income sounds wonderful. Just listen to it. Universal basic money. Money for everybody. Wow, right? Sounds great. And it's an almost godlike sort of appearance that this has, I think, in some people's conception. And that then generates support, which is not necessarily support that has come from a very reasoned thinking through of all the costs and benefits and the current system and how would this work and where would we implement and is it politically feasible, is it affordable, would it really be best for society as a whole. It comes from, oh my goodness, yes, that sounds great, please give me this so I can feel in control of this very uncertain environment. So that is not an economic argument, that is a religious argument or a religious position. And so, yes, it is possible we haven't captured that position on the stage today.
I'm not quite a zealot for UBI, just to clarify. But, you know, I do think the question of whether it's desirable it needs to come first before affordable, right? I mean, we've just had to hold $270 billion committed over the next 10 years to national security and our concern about where we are in the region in terms of Pacific. If we were as concerned about national security as we were about economic security, then we could muster, not that we would fund the UBI trial or UBI to the same extent that we've been talking about in the generous scheme, but it is about priorities. I mean, that's what a budget statement is. It's an expression of values. And I do think we need to recognise that. So I do think, yes, we need to work out the implementation, the affordability, but if we make this an accounting discussion or only an economic discussion, we're not thinking about what is the ends that this would serve. And I think we have to focus on that and then think about the means and not get that order wrong.
I agree with clarifying values and priorities. I don't think it can be considered outside the context of its cost because it's a policy idea. Policy ideas need to be measured on their benefits and costs and only introduced if the benefits exceed the costs. So yes, we need to know what the benefits are, but then we absolutely need to know the costs up front so we can make a proper comparison. So I don't think the issues can be separated very easily.